Okay, great afternoon. Well, I've had a little bit of shut-eye. Feel human again. And got cards out, give them a big ruffle shuffle here. But I want to look at Trump's Wisconsin fiasco. He went to Wisconsin. Very few people showed up. He was bitching and moaning because he was in a barn that it was raining and so it was noisy because it had a tin roof. Then he goes and they're moved to another place. And he's telling the farmers, look, I don't want to hear about your life stories. You know, everything's fabulous. Affordability's a made-up word. And we're giving you another bailout. So he's all over the map, saying how fabulous he is. And then he has, now, you know, I can't remember the name of the lady that was interviewing him, but all he wanted to talk about yet again was, you know, the election was stolen. The elections are stolen. You know, they're doing such horrible things in California. Elections are stolen. She goes, you never brought any kind of proof of that. What kind of proof do you have of anything of that? And he just kept, the elections are being stolen. The elections are being stolen. And she says, again, you've never brought any proof. Give us some proof somewhere. And then he got up and stormed out because she's not going to just let him ramble with his, you know, ongoing BS, which we've heard for what, 6 years now? Every time he gets a chance, he opens his mouth. So I want to see what the cards have to say about his Wisconsin fiasco from the Orange Menace. So let's see what it says. First card out is the 10 of Wands. Okay, so a big burden. So I would say this did not go real well for him. A lot of farmers did not show up. Very small crowd. He wants to pat himself on the back how fabulous he is. And how the fact they're losing their farms is not his problem. He doesn't want to hear it. Just, it was horrid. Energy coming into it is, yeah, the ongoing struggle, 5 of Wands. You know, these people are struggling. They're burdened and they are struggling to keep their farms. He single-handedly got rid of the soybean industry. How many farmers lost their farms because of that? But he's fabulous. So yeah, above it, they're juggling this stuff. Trying to juggle finances and juggling, you know, what he's putting out there. The foundation is about the past. The 6 of Cups. How many times it's Epstein, but I think this is their past that they're struggling with since he's come into power. How they're, you know, really juggling finances. And they're struggling. And this fool comes and says, I don't want to hear your life stories. I don't want to hear it. I could be back in Washington, you know, but you have a much better life than I do. So, yeah, what's going on now? It's a Tower moment. So, the Tower, things imploding. Also, Tower could be about government. But they are really struggling. Okay? And I would say this is a Tower moment for Trump. He didn't win any over, I'm sure. So the challenge is, yeah, what's being hidden? what he's not being honest about, what he continues to hide as things are imploding around the country, especially with the farmers. Above it, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So what they're trying to work with, what they're trying to work on as they're struggling to juggle finances to keep their things afloat. And the foundation is it's painful, mentally painful, physically painful, because of the past, the things that this fool has done and continues to do. So let's see what the potential outcome is. It is, Nine of Wands. So they're standing guard. Okay, he didn't get what he wanted either. Okay, he's kind of dejected, walking away, because he didn't get to railroad everything. They weren't buying what he was selling. And he left at the interview. He stormed off because she just didn't let him run over the top of her. She came back and asked him a number of times, well, where's the evidence? You've never shown any kind of evidence. Give us some evidence. He keeps trying to talk over her, but she keeps coming back to it. And since he didn't get his way, I'm done. I'm out of here. I've had enough. Oh, really? Nah, nah, nah. Baby, go cry his tears. So anyway, outside influence is the, Page of Cups. So the outside influence is the message that's being put out there, okay? And the message is he stormed off, okay? He didn't get what he wanted out of it. Above it, this is again what he's fighting with, what he's trying to get away with. If you can't dazzle them, then baffle them with bullshit. And that's what he did. But these are farmers. They've seen a lot of bullshit. Let's just put it that way. They're farmers. They deal with a whole lot of tonnage of bullshit. Cows can produce a whole lot. They could do a lot of gaslighting with what they're putting out. Okay, so again, he's trying to get away with this, and they're struggling and trying to survive, and so they're not buying what he's putting out. So the foundation is the Knight of Wands. So things are moving, looking at actions. They're looking at the past actions and the pain it's causing them. Mr. Mickey, come here, over here. Or you can come up here. You can come up here now, Mr. Mickey. But they're trying to move forward, trying to get some action, and he's trying to get away with all this crap and just gaslight them and tell them how fabulous the economy is. Affordability is a made-up word. It's just crap, okay? It's fabulous. I thought the gas prices are going to go way higher than they are. What do you mean you can't afford things? So let's see what's driving the reading. First thing out is the Hermit. So I would say, he's on his own with this, and they're going to sit there and go off and contemplate what this fool was telling them, okay? Next, we have the King of Wands. So trying to control the action. When it comes to what was being shared, it was delusional, okay? Fantasy. And they looked at what was being offered up. Knight of Cups, what's being offered up as a victory. for himself, the star. So he's just touting out there about his victories, about how fabulous he is, etc., etc., etc. Yet blocking and telling them he doesn't want to hear their life story. He doesn't want to hear anything from them. He's just going to tell them gaslight them in what he wants them to believe and tell them how fabulous everything is. Yeah, if you're struggling, then you're imagining it. I don't believe it for 1 second. So anyway, they want to get to somewhere better, but that's not fast moving, is it? That boat is kind of stalled, okay? That's not moving anywhere fast. And we're looking at strengthening and trying to figure out the next move, what's going on overseas, etc., what's affecting their farms, the production, etc. The hangman, okay, where things are not moving, they see it from a different viewpoint, and they see, trying to figure this out for the long term. How are they going to make it? And they are looking at his abuse of power, okay? His mentally going there and abusing them, basically, with absolute total nonsense. And they are backing off, not believing a word he says, retreating mentally from any kind of continuing to support his drama, because what do we have here? Knight of Swords. So mentally, they're looking at what he was saying, the mind racing on just the nonsense that was taking place. They've got the evidence in hand when it comes to finance, etc. Okay? They're holding, they know what they've got, how much money they have, how much it's costing them, etc. They want to see what's being birthed, what's coming to America. They were hoping for something concrete, something of value when it comes to what would be handed out. But rather than something really productive, they got a lot more manure, which they don't need any more of it. They got plenty manure as it is. That's one thing we got plenty of here, a lot of manure here in Wisconsin with dairy farms, okay? And they just wanted the truth. Queen of Swords, we just wanted some honest truth. But walking away with judgment, okay? Because all they heard was more what? Manipulation. More manipulations going on. And they were looking at the harvest, or lack thereof, trying to temper things, trying to get some balance somewhere, because all this stuff is still up in the air that they're trying to deal with. And, that he's trying to control, as usual. Mr. Mickey, you're a handsome duder, but right now you're in the video. Come on, up here. Come sit with Miss Lily. Mr. Mickey, thank you. And so we have the message. They're listening to the message he put out, his mental ramblings, etc. And again, the message about the actions. And of course, it was all about himself, his leadership, how fabulous he thinks he is. And, but they know the actions that he's done, the actions in hand. And this outcome for him is the wheel is turning. Okay? So he didn't do himself any favors going there. We have what's new, concrete, something coming for the White House. And it is what? Ongoing nightmare. Ongoing nightmare. So yeah, he did not do himself any favors. He just tried to run over the lady that was interviewing him, and she goes, well, wait a minute, come back, don't take off. I came all the way out here. Well, I came out here too. I had all that noise out there at the thing, and then I had to wait, and then I had to, and his, poor me saga for Trump. He's been so mistreated. She wasn't there just to prop up his BS story and buy it hook, line, and sinker. She was not the guppy fish that was going to bite on his nonsense, okay? And like I said, the farmers have enough BS. They got plenty of manure out there. They don't need any more. They know manure when they see it. So his Wisconsin trip did not go well for him. A lot of farmers didn't show up. And then his rambling crap about patting himself on the back and how fabulous they have it. And, affordability is a made-up word. I don't want to hear anything about your life stories. I don't want to hear any of it. I could be in Washington watching somebody else speak. You got a much better life than I do, says the guy that's ripping off everybody he can rip off to line his pockets. And meanwhile, they're struggling to keep their head aboard and keep their farms. So to say it didn't go well for Agent Orange over there, he just came with a bunch of more chemical fodder and crapola, and they weren't buying it. None of them were buying it. And his worst nightmare is having a female reporter that's not just going to lay down and let him walk over the top of her. It's going to challenge him. And we see how well he handled that. He got up and stormed out. Yeah. Big man on campus. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.